this statistic really quickly. So I don't know, I didn't know this for most of my life, that we actually make 35,000 decisions every single day. And so starting with that time, we like wake up in the morning, deciding when to, or whether or not to, what's it called, mute our alarm or snooze our alarm, right? Or to, decide what to wear or how long to brush our teeth, whatever it may be, right? There's all these decisions also that, may seem very conscious, but then there's these unconscious decisions as well that we make, like, not knowing how it will impact our day as well, right? I see some really great examples here about, yeah, the food we ate, whether we snooze our alarms, and how that can also, like, these decisions can create these trickle effects, right? So we make the decision, I'm just going to use this example, to snooze our alarm. And it means that we walk out the door at a different time. Maybe it's 2 minutes or 5 minutes later than we usually would. And maybe we're actually on the way to the airport and we end up, I don't know, missing our flight or something. Like, this is a very dramatic example, but we end up missing our flight and it's like, could be the worst thing ever, right? We can't control it now. The flight is gone. But it could possibly lead to this experience we have to become upgraded for the next flight, right? And it could lead to even more excitement. And so, of all the things we can't control, what could these possibilities look like that by kind of missing these opportunities that we think, or these things that we want and that we are planning to experience, like what could it lead to these new possibilities? So that's just like an example of how, making certain decisions can have that ripple effect into the things that we cannot control as well. So I want to talk like a little bit too, because we have these conscious decisions that we make every day that have that influence on the trajectory of where we end up in our lives, or whether we meet that writing deadline, whether we decide to self-publish or to publish with someone else, or whatever it may be, have this person edit our book or self-edit, whatever it may be, right? There's also these unconscious decisions that we make, and our conscious decisions aren't just like decisions we make on our own. They are driven by those subconscious beliefs and the stories that live within our subconscious minds. So I'm gonna jump over to just quickly the theory of the mind to just show you. I'm not sure if anyone's seen this before or has much experience with the theory of the mind. It's ever changing now that people are actually really investing into the science of this, but I love to show this example of the iceberg. So we have the top of the iceberg that's above the surface of the water. So, and then we have like the bulk of the iceberg, right? That's at the bottom. The top of the iceberg we can think of as our conscious mind. It's actually less than 5% of our entire minds, yet below the surface of the water is the bulk of the iceberg. So that can be representing our subconscious mind. So what we see above the surface is what we're conscious of, what's within our awareness. What's below the water, what we do not see, is like that subconscious mind, where we're not always being able to see into it or have access to it, but it's there, right? And it's actually holding up the entire structure of this conscious mind, or the top of the iceberg that's stacked on top of the water, right? So you can even begin now to imagine like what lies beneath the surface and what lies within our subconscious mind, and what possibilities could become accessible to us once we dip below the surface of the water, and connect to our subconscious mind. So within our subconscious minds, we have our beliefs, our emotions. It's what where we formed our habits and our values, our protective reactions that we, are driven by these triggers, right? That are made up of all these stories within our subconscious mind. And it's where our limited working, like our memory capacity, lives within our subconscious mind as well. So there's just so much down there that causes us to react consciously in a certain way, or to believe perhaps like, someone else has written about this before. Like maybe what I'm writing, isn't as important, or like maybe I shouldn't put it out there, right? It's all driven by these stories that we've built and stored within our subconscious mind. So that's why we experience that lack of confidence, or we experience doubt or shame or that discomfort and that uneasiness and even confusion, right? When we're faced with certain decisions that are conflicting these different stories, when we have these really strong beliefs that, we're not good enough, or we shouldn't put our work out there. The more we think about it, the more we say it out loud, those neural pathways in our brain are actually becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. So in order to rewrite those stories, there's three different ways. The one which we'll be experiencing today is hypnosis, which is actually the quickest way to surpass that critical part of the mind, dip below the surface of the water, and access the subconscious mind, and to re-visualize different outcomes for ourselves, to create new stories in our mind that become that proof of we are capable of doing this. And our minds do not know, our subconscious mind doesn't know if we've experienced something in real life or if we're just imagining it. That's why daydreaming is so powerful. That's why journaling and meditating are also great tools, yet those are more likely to have results after a lot of repetition. So hypnosis, we can do that much more quickly through visualization as well.